Yes, yet another price hike. SpaceX Starlink's price increase hits over 70% of its customers. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of misty morning and focus combination. So good, so good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a tech day. We're going to be talking about Starlink. Last night, I did a live, right? We did a hangout with a bunch of you guys, and we talked everything from Canon and their new EOS R1 and the R5 Mark II and Starlink, of course. There was a lot of you guys there wanting to talk about Starlink, and we did. And something came to pass that I didn't know anything about it. None of us were aware of it. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, people were starting to get emails from SpaceX Starlink saying that their price is going to increase. And we were looking it up to see if this is actually the case. And sure damn enough, it is. Yet another price hike. And this time, we're going to see it affect probably 70% or more of its total customer base. Now, I'm speculating those numbers, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. But we're looking at another price hike. But before we get into it, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go check them out. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Also, if you want to just say thank you for me hanging out and doing this stuff, and hopefully you getting some value out of these videos, there's a little thank you button down there. Click it, or even better, don't click it and become a member of the channel. That would be awesome. Also, if you enjoyed this video, even in the least, please consider throwing it a thumbs up. That would be very helpful for the algorithm, for the YouTube gods to shine their light on us so nicely and warmly. Also, if you're not subscribed as of yet, consider doing so, and then click this little button over here and then click all. So when I go live, when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And finally, if you're looking for a VPN to secure your business or your home data, internet, well, I'm currently using PureVPN, and the nice folks over there gave me a link to about 80% off. So down below in the pinned comment, as well as the description, you can find that link. Go check it out. It's a really great service, and if you're looking for port forwarding or static IP or military-grade encryption, 256-bit, they have it all. So once again, down below, go check that out. So let's get right into this increase in SpaceX Starlink's monthly fee. Now, the cost of the equipment hasn't gone up according to this email. What it is the monthly fee that's going up. Now, I want to dive a little bit deeper, as I always do on this channel. It's all about not just giving you what's going on, but the why behind it. And to me, I've kind of stumbled across something that feels a little bit bogus, right? A little bit pushed, a little bit disingenuous. With Starlink. And, I never talk like that because I am a fan of Starlink, but I am not a fanboy of anything. So you have to understand that when you come to this channel for any type of information, I don't care if it's a lens review, a camera review, Starlink stuff, some type of product, I'm just going to tell you how it is, okay? I don't have a horse in the race. No one's paying me to tell you to go and buy this or that, okay? So I'm giving you this information based on what I've found. Now, last night, like I was saying, we had a hangout, and what was found is that the RV cost, instead of being $135 for RV, it is going up to $150. Well, that wasn't great, but as the night went on, people started finding emails from SpaceX Starlink that's saying, hey, pricing is increasing even for residential, not for RV. And matter of fact, the email that they sent out said nothing about RV. The only reason we found out that the price of RV was going up is because someone went over to their site, and we ended up doing the exact same thing. We went over to the site and we looked, and now instead of saying $135, it said $150. Knowing this, we said, well, all right, now what does this email say? So this is what the email says. Starlink monthly service for residential customers is changing as follows. $10 increase in areas with limited capacity. New price will be $120 per month. $20 decrease in areas with excess capacity. New price will be $90 per month. As a current customer in an area with limited capacity, your monthly service price will increase to $120 per month beginning April 24th, 2023. For new customers in your area, the price increase is effective immediately. If you do not wish to continue service, you can cancel at any time on your account page. Your Starlink hardware can be returned for a full refund within 30 days of purchase or a partial refund of $250 within 12 months of purchase. As the SpaceX team launches more satellites to increase capacity, the Starlink team is making continuous network updates to improve performance over time. Thanks for being a customer and for your continued support of Starlink. Space Exploration Technology Corporation, 1 Rocket Road, Hawthorne, California. So this is from SpaceX Starlink. Basically, if you do the math, we're looking at a decrease in price of about 18%. Let's call it 20% decrease if you're in an area that has excess capacity. Now, that moves you from $110 to $90. Okay. Now, 10% increase if you are in an area that has limited capacity, meaning it's oversold. That will change the price from $110 to $120. Also, if you are in an RV, you have an RV service, you will also get a 10% increase from $135 to $150. Now, you remember what I said at the beginning. I said that this increase, not the decrease, the increase was going to hit about 70% or more of the current SpaceX customers, right? And do I have this information? Is it fact? Absolutely not. Is it speculation? It is. But as I always dig in a little bit deeper, I found something that is very fascinating. I think that you guys will find this fascinating also. All right. So what I did is I took a map, the map that SpaceX Starlink gives us. And this map, matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up for you guys right now. Let me switch over to my desktop. There we go. So as you can see here, this is the map. Now, the dark area, if you guys don't know it, is the waiting list area. This is where there is limited capacity, whereas this light area here is where there is availability. And then the extra dark area, like we see down here, where there's no service, but it's coming soon. Well, if we come into Florida here, right, as we can see, all of these little hexagons, these are like nodes. Well, there is no available nodes here. Now, I call bullshit on this, okay? Now, I'm going to show you why. This right here is the map that we saw, and this shows you where there's availability and where there's a wait list. The dark area is a wait list, and the light area is availability. That's fine. But when I looked at it, I said, you know, something looks very similar. I've seen this map before. Now, what I did is I went online and I downloaded a U.S. population density map. Let's just zoom in a little bit. There you go. So if we take a look at the U.S. population density map, this is what it looks like. Do you see how it looks very, very similar? Let's go ahead and move this opacity up and down, all right? You see something is very similar. Look at that line of the waiting list and the available. The line is almost identical to the line of where the population is and isn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a highlighter and I'm just going to draw on this map just where the areas are that SpaceX Starlink says, hey, there is a waiting list in these areas. We got Arizona here. We have Colorado, this area here. Then there's a line that goes right up here, all the way over into Michigan. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just figure we'll do this so that we can see and get a good representation of this area in comparison to the area of density of population. So there you go. Let me lower the opacity to this back down just a little bit so we can see that it's like a highlighter now. And now let's move this population map back up. Now look at that. Wow, that's amazing, is it not? Let me move it down just a little bit. And there you go. Look at this. It's literally the same damn map, guys. Now, some people are going to be like, well, wait a second, Joe. Over here in Boston and New York, it's red. There's a ton of population there. Why is it that there is availability? Well, guys, the reason there's availability there is because no one can use it there. Where are you going to put it? If you're in, let's say, Manhattan, where are you going to put SpaceX Starlink? You're not going to put it on your balcony because you don't have open air. You're going to be shooting through a building. You're not going to get any service, right? You're not going to go to the top of a 50-story building and stick your Starlink up there. There'll be like 100 up there or 1,000. That's not going to happen, right? It's just, even though the population is great there, it's showing as available because no one can use it there. So the only places where there is excess capacity and not limited capacity is in like Wyoming and Utah, Nebraska, Montana, Idaho, where there's no one there anyways. So of course there's excess capacity. No one's using it. There's a very small populace of people using it. Now, the problem that I have with this is I feel like it's disingenuous. Now, why do you say that, Joe? Well, I'm glad you damn asked me. So let's go back to SpaceX Starlink's website, their actual map. Now, if we go down here into Florida, let me show you something, all right? This is very important. Do you see how Florida is like painted all this color here, which means wait list, okay? Well, it never used to be. Every one of these hexagons that you see here are nodes or areas where there is service or no service. Well, this area here, which is Lake Okeechobee, massive lake, there is no one here. And all the way around the lake, there's no one there either, okay? So this should be, or these nodes should be open and they should be labeled with available, okay? The same thing down here. This is the Everglades, guys. That's all there is alligators and snakes, okay? This whole area used to be labeled as available, and rightfully so, because there is excess capacity here. No one is using it in this location. Now, the way it used to be is I'm in this area. There was nodes where there was a waiting list and availability. And as soon as my node became available, I was able to get it. And this was at the very beginning. But as you can see, everything is painted as waiting list. What the hell is this? This to me looks as if it is bogus. Now look, oh my God, there's a couple of little points of availability. Let's zoom in. What is this? Well, look at this one. Alligator River National Wildlife Refuge. Yeah, there's availability there, guys. Why? Because it's just animals there. There's nothing there. It's a refuge. I mean, really? So, I love SpaceX Starlink, like I've said many times in the past, and I do believe that their service is awesome. For what they are providing and how they're providing it from LEO and giving us high-speed internet where we never had it before, I think it's wonderful. But I do feel that what is going on currently is disingenuous. That's my personal opinion. Because this map, this swath, just like a big, large paintbrush of everything being on this waiting list or limited capacity that is going to get a price hike on April 24th, is well in excess of 70%, all right? Once again, just by looking at the population map. It's almost like they just took the population map and said, this is where we have limited capacity and this is where we have excess capacity. It's literally based on population, and that is it. This map, to me, is no longer a viable map to go look at to actually see where there is true excess and where there is true limited capacity. It's just not. Because like I said, in Florida, I know areas of Florida that has always been since day one, actually since beta time, when they first put this map up, it has always been labeled as available. And the reason being is there's no one there, all right? So it should be labeled as available. So to bring this full circle, what we're going to see is by April 24th, we're going to see an increase in price, my speculation, to over 70% of the current customer base. That is, RV customers are going to be going up 10% from $135 per month to $150 a month, while the residential customers are also going to go up 10%. That will go from $110 to $120 a month. And the few people that live in Montana and Idaho and in Nebraska and in North Dakota, those few people are going to get a price reduction. of 20%, actually 18%, from $110 down to $90, which isn't a bad thing. I think that's fantastic. But once again, it's going to be for a small, minuscule number of people in comparison to the masses or majority that will see the price increase. Now, I did get an email from one of the subscribers that said, listen, I put in already a ticket to SpaceX Starlink, and I requested for them to show proof, show evidence that his area is currently in a limited area and not an excess area. He just felt that somehow this was disingenuous. And I'm glad he's asking this question. And I asked him to write back to us, send a DM with what the results are. Now, do I think that the results are going to be favorable? No, but I would like to hear what SpaceX Starlink has to say about it. Now, I understand that this service is new and Elon Musk needs to make money to expand it and to make it better and better and better. I get it. And once again, I am a fan. I'm not a fanboy, and that's why I call this stuff out when I see it. But I understand that it needs to be done, and I understand that increases need to happen. Once again, they started at $99 to $110. Now it's going to be $120. But I feel that it could have been a little bit more transparent, especially when it comes to these hexagons and showing where there's true excess and where there is true limited capacity. And I don't believe that to be the case any longer. My opinion. I could be wrong, right? I'm not an expert here. It's just what I feel based on the maps and the superimposing of the U.S. population map, and what I see is very similar. It's almost identical. It's like every single spot, every single location that has a greater population, limited capacity. Your price is going up. No granularity to it. Whereas it used to have that. And I know for a fact because I used to look at it all the time in Florida, not all over the country, right? It's not like that anymore. So if there's anything positive to come of this, there could be a silver lining here. Now, I did a video, maybe I'll put a link to it over here, and I talked about data caps and how the data cap was finally going to be implemented in April. They pushed it back. First, it was like November, and then they went to January, and then February, and then finally they just said, we're going to push it back to April. Now, if you don't know what the data cap is, once again, I did this video all about it. It basically states that once you hit 1 terabyte of usage, your data will be slowed down. You will go from priority data speed to basic data speed. And doing the math, it comes to about 40 to 60% reduction in speed. I called it 50. So let's say a half speed. But bear in mind, that half speed will only happen once you hit that terabyte of data usage for the month, and then it goes back to 0 in the next billing cycle, and you're in a location that's at capacity. Meaning that even if you hit your terabyte data cap, your limit, if you're in an area that is not at capacity, it is not limited in any way, it has excess, you will not be slowed down. So that's actually quite good. So my original thought, once again in that video, was maybe they keep pushing this data cap back because they really don't want to implement it. They want people to somehow self-govern themselves, right? To say, okay, we're only going to be using data during off-peak times, right? To somehow be able to do it themselves instead of SpaceX having to regulate the people for them because they can't do it themselves, right? So maybe that's it. Also, maybe by them increasing the price by 10%, they will no longer have to implement that data cap in April. Now, that's the silver lining. What could be worse is come April, not only do we get the data cap, but we also get the price increase to 70+% of the customer base. How does it all unfold? I don't know, but I'll be reporting back to you because I find it very interesting, and a lot of you guys have been finding it interesting too. Also, I have to thank all of you guys for hanging out live with me and Trevor Current last night. It was awesome. We were live for about an hour and 45 minutes, and we had a blast. It was great. If you want to hang out live with me in the future, I'm going to try doing lives about once a week. Don't forget to subscribe and then click this button over here. And after you click the button, click all. So when I do go live or when a new video comes out, you are notified of it immediately. Also, if you enjoyed this video, even in the least, please throw it a thumbs up. That'll be very, very helpful. And if you want more Starlink coverage, check out my Starlink playlist. There is over 120 Starlink videos over there in that playlist with helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, commentary, what to buy, what not to buy, why. This channel has always been about the why. I show you how to do things, but more importantly, I tell you the why. So then later on, you understand the why, and then you can do it yourself. You don't need to go and watch the video all over again because you get it. Finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.